Hi there, I'm Mike. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going over Star Wars The Black Series Phase 3, Wave 5. I have them in numerical order, which as far as I can tell is completely arbitrary. Let's start with number 15, Jango Fett. So we have a pretty strong showing from Boba Fett's clone dad. Hasbro has faithfully recreated his armor. There's lots of great detail in here. From the head with the dent in the helmet, all the way down to his wrinkly pants and cleated shoes. It's really hard to say that this is a bad looking figure. Regardless of your feelings for the prequels, it had some really good characters. This is one of the better ones, at least better looking ones. On the back here you can see that we have his backpack from the end of the movie, not the middle where he fights Obi-Wan Kenobi. I do wish that we had that backpack as an alternate backpack, or maybe just something that we can change up here to turn it into that backpack. He also does come with two guns that are molded well right into his hands. I haven't had any issues with these guys slipping or falling out, and they do fit really well right into his holsters. The guns are made of the same soft rubber that pretty much every accessory that Hasbro has put with the Black Series are made from, which is a little disappointing, but I suppose they have to cut costs somehow. Also, on the backpack, the little jets down here did sort of stretch and stress right out of the package. They were stuck in there real good. So be careful with that if you get one of these. So apart from the great details, including his wrists, which I love, and the wiring, he has some great pouches along his belt, and a nice wash on the paint to give it that kind of detailed, worn, grimy look, which I really like. He also has a removable helmet, and we have a pretty good likeness to actor, I think it's Tamara Morrison? I don't want to look it up. You can't make me look it up. But it's nice that we do have an actual actor underneath here instead of just the helmet. They could have cheaped out and just done just the helmet without the actual head here. And I probably wouldn't have complained, but it's nice that we got this. It's a good looking helmet, it's well painted, well detailed, and we have a pretty decent face sculpt of the actor. Oh, my fingers, Jango Fett. Does make me wish that we got this head sculpt for the clone troopers as well, but beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Let's get into articulation real quick. His head moves all around, not so much up or down, but it does move side to side. It does look like it should move up and down, but I think his turtleneck kind of stops that. His arm does successfully go all the way around, and it can move a little bit to the side, but that's about it, and it is stopped by his shoulder armor. That being said, it is possible to get him to a cool jumping gun shooting pose. And you can also give him some gangsta guns if you want to. Don't ever point your guns like that. It doesn't work as well as you think it does. Much like other figures in this series, he does only have one point of articulation on his elbow, which is super disappointing. I haven't really seen a figure that would not have benefited from having a double jointed elbow, this one included. It would have just given him some more dynamic posing options. He also has a wrist rotation that goes all the way around, and then also a wrist swivel that goes like this. He has a really good waist kind of diaphragm joint, but it actually is closer to his waist instead of up here like so many other figures are. And you can get some good movement out of it. Now his leg movement is hindered by the holsters. That being said, I don't really mind that so much because I do like the fact that he has holsters, and I do think they look better as separate pieces that are strapped on just like they would be on a real person. And just like on a real person, it does sort of hinder how well his legs can move forward and backwards. He does have an upper thigh rotation, and he does have a double jointed knee. Now this double jointed knee, when I first got it, was very, very stiff, and I was actually afraid that it might have been fused with the paint. It wasn't. It eventually moved. Just be very careful if you get this and it's very stiff. He also does have the crazy rocker ankles, and this is about as far as they can get with both feet standing flat on the ground. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get this guy an 8.5 out of 10. He has a lot of great detail. He's got a lot of great articulation. He is missing a few pieces that I would like a double hinged elbow, but he makes for it with character and a couple other places. The only accessory that I really would have liked to have seen is maybe a different backpack, but I can forgive it, honestly. It looks good how it is. Also, maybe a removable head. I don't know, too dark? Yeah, maybe too dark. So I highly recommend getting Jango Fett. Next up with number 16, we have a Flametrooper, the First Order Flametrooper. as opposed to the other Flametroopers that we've seen in the series. Now, spoiler alert, I actually really like this figure, and it baffles me that he is a peg warmer at so many stores. What's wrong with you people? Why aren't you buying him? Please tell me in the comments why you decided not to buy this. I feel like when I go to the store, I see 8 of him on the shelf. Now, in all fairness, he is just a Stormtrooper. So I guess he is a bit plain. He only has 2 colors on him, white and black. But he's a Stormtrooper. That's awesome, and he's a cool looking Stormtrooper. So I know he's not perfect. The armor does make him look a little chubby. And with this smooth dome up here, I guess he kind of has like a Homer Simpson vibe to him. But to counter that, he has this awesome backpack that gives me kind of a Ghostbusters vibe. So let's talk about his weapon. Just like every other figure, he is hindered on his elbows. He only has a single jointed elbow, so he is hindered in the way that he can hold his weapon. If he had dual joints, he could hold it a lot better, but he doesn't. So it is a little hindered in how well he can hold this thing. The weapon's molded out of the same soft plastic that every other Black Series weapon is molded out of. So mine's a little bit bent. Now I know you can fix this. You can fix this with hot water or heating it up a little bit just to make it soft and straightening it out. But I honestly don't feel like any of that's enough for people not to buy this guy. So the backpack comes off, the gun comes off, and you have a lot of great stuff going on here. Let's get into his articulation. He actually has a lot of head movement all the way around, and as you move it around, you will notice this happen a lot. He has a lot of forward and backwards movement on his head, and that's because nothing down here is hindering it. His arm does go all the way around, and it goes up sort of disappointing amount because of the shoulder armor does hinder it. As I said before, he has a disappointing single jointed elbow. He has a wrist rotation. He has 2 different types of wrist joint. This one goes this way, and this one goes this way. And that's to help hold the weapon a little better. I don't know why I'm making these hand gestures. It's kind of weird. He does have a diaphragm swivel, and again, the diaphragm swivel does tend to knock off his backpack a lot. He has leg movement that goes, I'm just going to leave that off. He has leg movement that goes all the way front, and not so much back, although he does have a double jointed knee. And he's got really good ankle rockers that let him stand about this far apart with his feet both touching the ground. I also do want to point out that he kind of looks a little dumb holding this weapon in one hand. So that's the First Order Flametrooper. I honestly feel like he's a pretty good figure. Any First Order squadron should have one at least, if not multiples. So I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. He's not as good as some of the other figures, but I still like him. He's a welcome addition to my collection. And here we have FN2187, also known as Finn. As far as I can tell, he's just a standard Stormtrooper body with a different helmet and a different head. And I'm okay with that. It'd be weird if he was different. He's supposed to just be a regular Stormtrooper. That's the whole point of him. He comes with a standard Stormtrooper gun. He comes with a standard Stormtrooper secondary gun that falls off all the time. You'll probably accidentally lose and have to go buy another one from the store. He does have his signature 3 red blood fingerprint mark on his helmet that Finn should have. And it's fun to recreate poses with your other figures. So there's not a whole lot to say about this guy. It's not really any different from any other Stormtrooper figure you've ever held, except for we have a much better likeness to John Boyega than we got with the Jakku Finn. That one kind of looks like Tracy Morgan. This one actually looks like John Boyega. So that's good. See what I mean by that thing falling off all the time? All in all, I'm glad we have this because Finn only has 2 different costumes in the entire movie. Stormtrooper or not Stormtrooper. So with that, we've pretty much got a complete Finn collection from episode 7. You can also use this one to recreate the scene where he and Poe Dameron escape from the Star Destroyer in a TIE Fighter, as long as you have that gigantic TIE Fighter, which I do. He has pretty standard Stormtrooper articulation, head movement, which is pretty decent, probably the best diaphragm movement of any of the other figures, legs that go out this far, out that far, and out that far. Also a double jointed knee. On the arm, he can go all the way around and up about that far as the shoulder goes. He does have the disappointing single jointed elbow, and his wrist can rotate around, and he does have a joint that goes like this. He also can stand about this far apart with both his feet flat on the ground with these ankle rockers. So all in all, I'm going to give this guy an 8 out of 10. He's missing some points because of his disappointing elbow joints, but he gains some points because he does have a spot-on John Boyega likeness. I truly do feel like this is a character that everyone should own. Finally, we have number 18, Han Solo. Han Solo! Sorry, that was my best Maz Kanata impersonation. I'm not very good at impersonations. So I have to say, they did a great job nailing the likeness of Harrison Ford. I'm just going to go straight off. He looks like an old Harrison Ford. He looks much more like Harrison Ford at this age than the original Han Solo Black Series figure did at Han Solo at a younger age, or this age. They also nailed his baggy pants. He just looks like he's an old man wearing old man baggy pants. He just looks like he stumbled out of a nursing home. I kind of like it. I don't know why. He is a little light on the accessories. He only comes with his gun. And at first, I thought they skimped on the paint job, and I was going to complain about that, but I looked it up, and Han Solo's blaster in Episode 7 has a black muzzle. It looks like it does have a few touches of paint in there somewhere. He has his new jacket. He's got a lot of details molded right into the plastic, and he has his standard Han Solo gun belt, and the blaster fits in it perfectly fine. This figure was actually the figure that I bought the Episode 7 Chewbacca. I was really hesitant to do that because I didn't really feel like owning 2 Chewbaccas. But because I like this figure so much, I thought to myself, Han Solo can't go without Chewie. I guess Chewie can go without Han Solo though. Ouch. So he's a great likeness. He looks pretty good just standing there. He's got that grizzled confidence of an aged smuggler who will defy Kanji Club at the drop of a hat. He's got great articulation. His head does move around normally, although it doesn't move forwards and backwards like at all. His arm moves all the way around, and it moves out pretty far. Now, he only has one elbow joint, but it does move up a little bit higher than 90 degrees because of the molding on his arm. So it's actually a pretty good arm joint, even though there's only one of them. His wrist does swivel all the way around. He also swivels at the elbow. He also does have a wrist joint that goes like this. Now, he does have a diaphragm joint, and I don't like this diaphragm joint because it does create this unsightly crease in his shirt, which otherwise has a lot of great detail. Now, his leg on this side is not hindered much at all. He has a double jointed knee. He has an upper thigh rotation, and it goes out pretty far. This leg is hindered by the holster, as to be expected, because the holster is attached to his belt, which is attached to his waist. And again, I'm pretty okay with that. His leg articulation and his ankle rockers allow his legs to be about this far apart, which is probably further than Harrison Ford's actual legs can go at this point. All in all, this is a great figure. I feel like every Star Wars fan who liked Episode 7 should have this figure as well as the Chewbacca figure so they can stand side by side for eternity until Kylo Ren screws everything up. So that's Han Solo. He's a little light on accessories, but I honestly can't think of any accessories that he should have come with, but that doesn't mean they don't exist. I'll give him another 8 out of 10. I really like him. This whole wave has been pretty solid. They're all in the 7.5 and 8s. I mean, he's so good, I bought a Chewbacca for him. He's got a great likeness. He's got a great old man Harrison Ford smirk going on. So I definitely think that he belongs in mine and your collection. So that's my review of Star Wars The Black Series, Phase 3, Wave 5. I honestly highly recommend all of these figures. I guess the Flametrooper is probably the weakest one of the bunch, but that doesn't make him a bad figure. I still don't understand why he's peg warming. Hasbro really did knock it out of the park with this entire wave, and all of them are worth owning. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say Jango Fett. And I guess if I had to leave one on the shelf, it would be the Flametrooper. But I still think everyone should own all of them, even if you're not the biggest fan of Episode 2 or Episode 7. If you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to like these. So thanks for watching my review. I've been Mike. This has been my channel. This has been my room. These have been my toys. Stay tuned. I have a couple other videos lined up to come out real soon. Tell me what you thought of these figures down below. Let me know if I missed anything. I often do in reviews. I don't really research as much as I should, which so far you've been very good about correcting me. And thank you for that. Seriously. Bye. Not in like a slave way, just like this is the action figure I bought way. Buy it.